You might have heard the saying that regret is a wasted emotion, or maybe even guilt is a wasted emotion. And I'm going to say, there's a bit of bullshit on that. Doesn't mean it's the most amazing emotion either. I want to sit and wallow in that stuff. But today, in today's coaching corner, a reflection from a coaching call with one of my clients, we're going to explore what that means, what the hell to do with regret and guilt, and how you can actually use these to massively benefit your life. But first, hey there, legend. I'm Mike Campbell. I'm the anti-nice guy men's coach. If you're new around here, I help nice guys in building self-worth, self-respect, and a solid sense of security so that you can kill that nice guy and actually get so much more from your life, love, and the everyday. Drop the conditional kindness, drop all the people pleasing, and actually step into being a solid, secure, unfuckwithable good man. A very important distinction that I go through in a number of other pieces of content. Let's dive into today's Coaching Corner video. If you're new here, Coaching Corner videos are where I get off a coaching call with a client of mine from my inner circle, and we dive into one of the key lessons and takeaways from that so that it can benefit you, because the things that come up with my clients usually come up with many of the men that follow me, dive into or search content, podcasts, YouTube, etc. And if you are new, click like, subscribe, ring the bell to get the notifications, all that kind of stuff. Go and look at all the back catalog of videos and Coaching Corner pieces and big features that we've got on YouTube as well. Let's dive into today's Coaching Corner with Steve. I call them all Steve to protect their privacy. Steve made a choice. After that choice, he had some regret and some guilt about making that choice. And he felt like he was in a place where he was out of integrity for the choice that he made. Now, the details of what went on there don't necessarily matter. It's more the context for him. But in part, it was actually about missing a call with me and the team in my Zeus inner circle. And the reason why he chose it is pure, like massively legit. Like he heard about a mate who passed away very unexpectedly. But it doesn't really matter. It does, but it doesn't. When it comes to making a choice in our integrity, what we have to be able to reflect on is in any given moment, what is the most important thing to me? And when I can be clear on that, it becomes easy to prioritize. And even though this thing, for example, making a call with us might have been deeply important, in that moment, you know what's more important? Sitting with fucking astonishment and grief and sadness and feeling absolutely smacked in the face by the universe. Absolutely. However, after that eventuated, he was still sitting with some guilt and a bit of regret for not communicating and not showing up perhaps how he wanted to. And so we explore that a little bit. And you might experience guilt. You might experience regret in different areas of your life. It doesn't really matter how it comes about. But to throw a ridiculous band-aid over any kind of guilt and regret and say it's a wasted emotion. It's like those memes where you see the big hole in the fucking tank of water and the dude just slaps some tape over it or something. It doesn't cover it effectively. Every emotion is there to tell us something. Whilst it might seem like there's no reasonable reason for that emotion, generally emotion is there to give us a message. And what I would say when it comes to guilt, when it comes to regret, they're not the same, but often they're hanging out in the same ballpark, is that it's telling me that I didn't act in a way that really lives to a standard that I would hold for myself. And so if I ignore it, I miss potentially a mistake that I made or something that I would like to learn from and shift. So really what regret and guilt are telling me is like, bro, just stop for a second, slow down and pay attention. How did I act? How would I like to have acted? And therefore, what can I learn about how I would like to act in future? Whilst that exact scenario might not happen for Steve again, he will be in situations again where his integrity is challenged. And choosing one thing or the other doesn't necessarily take him in or out of integrity. It depends on that priority. But that was the story that was going on for himself because he has a big history of beating himself up and being very, very hard on himself. And so he went down that path, hence the regret, hence the guilt. Inquire, ask the regret, ask the guilt. What are you here to tell me? What message do you have for me? How could I have acted differently? Or how could I act differently in the future? And so there might be something to course correct. You know what? I wish I didn't act like that. I need to go and apologize to that person. There might be an action that you can take in that moment and something to learn from in the future, how you want to act. Guilt and regret are teaching you something. Get the message. Because if you just plaster over it, suppress it, bypass it, it's a wasted emotion. You go through life not learning the lessons that you need to learn. And then you'll keep making the same mistakes and you keep making the same mistakes. And as I say, if you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. Learn from that shit so that you can show up more effectively in the future. That's the lesson from today's coaching call. I trust there's something in there for you. Let me know in the comments if this lands for you and how guilt and regret show up in your life and how they might cockblock so much of your life. Perhaps we can explore that in the comments or in another video. I've been Mike Campbell. Remember, if you want to become an unfuckwithable good man, you got to start taking bold actions, even though you might not feel super confident or have a lot of doubt or belief in yourself. That's today's Coaching Corner. I'm Mike Campbell. If you want to learn from your emotions, you got to stop, slow down for a moment, and tune into them. That doesn't mean put them on a pedestal. It means be a curious observer and a responsible steward for them.